Good evening everyone, and thank you for coming and staying on for the press conference. Today's press conference is about the unprecedented uncertainty in planning that is happening in the state, and so which is inconsistent with all the democratic procedures that need to be followed for planning. We have our team of GBA who has been consistently monitoring how planning has been taking in the state, and we can see that time and again the procedures are not followed and the plans are being tweaked, changed to suit the interest of vested people, vested interest. And this is happening at such a fast pace that it is becoming difficult even for common people to keep track of what are the changes that are happening. The government is also very secretive about what it is doing, and we have a lot of RTIs which have been put, but we are not getting the responses, which very clearly indicates that the state wants to hide what it is doing. Okay? Now, to further aggravate the situation, we now hear the TCP minister saying that we are going to keep the plans in abeyance, specifically with respect to Pernem zoning plan, and we are going to consult the central minister. Now, since when is the central minister part of the planning process? If you look at the 73rd and the 74th Amendment of the Constitution, it is the local people who have a say in the planning process. And the government should have made all the legal provisions, as well as provided inputs and given all the requirements that are needed to make a plan which is bottom up and where the local people given their input. And this is just not done. Goa is not a union territory. It has become a state, and the TCP minister should know that. You cannot be ignorant of the fact. If this basic understanding is not there, then the minister should step down. And we need people who will follow the democratic procedures. Let me take the example of Pernem. What we are saying is this inconsistent planning. Pernem zoning plans are planned not following the regional plan and due process, but is investment driven as per item 5 in the 189th board meeting. Now, a zoning plan must flow from the master plan for Goa and compulsorily involve the people through Gram Sabhas or elected councillors. It must physically and scientifically take into consideration critical zones such as command areas, CRZ regulations, environment criteria such as slopes, rainfall and watershed areas before placement of hard infrastructure. It must be guided equally by representatives with interests in agriculture, economics, social science and critically environment. So we don't repeat mistakes of skewed development, clustering, landslides and flooding the way of Himachal Pradesh. The Pernem draft zoning plan is hurried, environmentally unscientific, full of errors and unavailable at all panchayats for people to review. It ignores local development but wholesale real estate business interest from outside of Goa. What we are seeing is at the TCP board meeting, decisions are taken and they are just bypassing the regional plan, and for the sake of investment, you have all these people coming into Goa, and they want to buy off land, and also there are other interests involved. So they just take a decision, they just bypass all democratic procedures, and the government goes all out to meet their needs, not the needs of the local people. Now, there are arbitrary decisions which are also being taken, and to cite another example, the arbitrary notification of building regulations with respect to 20% FAR and subsequent corrigendum allowing unlimited FAR without rationale nor following macro planning. So at whims and fancies, the FARs are being decided, and now there is no cap on the FAR. Notification of 9th August allows blanket increase in built-up area to 20% regardless of ground realities of road widths, etc. Then notification of 24th August removes the same to provide unlimited built-up area as a corrigendum. Defying logic and unheard of in any planning exercise. Now this will cause misery to the people of Goa if left unchecked. So when we decide on FAR, we also have road widths. Then we need to have provisions for ambulance, fire brigade. When you have these compound walls so close together, the vehicles cannot pass by, and we have been, the newspaper reports have been showing that. Now all that is thrown to the wind, and just arbitrary planning is taking place. And there is so much of opacity and violation of the RTI Act by denying information to the public. So they are keeping the public in the dark. It is repeatedly stated by TCP officials that due to a directive from the minister, they are to route all planning related RTI queries to him. The official RTI replies often state that information is not with the department, as documents are kept with the officer on special duty, that is the OSD, to the TCP minister, and they do not know when it will be returned. Now, just to give you an example, Rebani had applied for RTI information. Please read out the response from the TCP department.
And this is not only for me, it's like everybody is getting this. I am to inform that the said file has been sent to the OSD to the Honorable Minister for TCP by this office as per instructions received. Hence the information can be made available after receipt of the file. There is no date, there is no nothing, and they have not forwarded it to the concerned authority. So this is in complete violation of the RTI Act. Okay? So this is really alarming.
The situation is dire and probably a first in a democracy where the TCP minister and the department, the board members and the steering committees are working against basic planning principles and openly for real estate and speculative investors. The people of Goa need to come out and remind the TCP minister to work for them and the state of Goa and not as a union territory with direct instructions from the Home Ministry. In the interest of the people of Goa, the TCP minister must denotify the Pernem zoning plan and stop misleading the public using meaningless words like abeyance, where there is no provision for the same in the TCP Act. Include the people of Goa in the planning process as per the 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution, as is our right. Our future is at stake. So we appeal to the people to come out in large numbers. Already Pernem people are showing the way and are protesting against the arbitrary planning.
The whole of Goa has to watch out. This is going to happen to each and every village. So it's important they know what's happening.
So if you have any queries, and we have a team who will answer whatever you.
The government is planning this zoning plan for all the talukas. So beginning from Pernem.
Right now, 11 zoning plans have been proposed, out of which 2 are taluka, Bicholim and Satari, and 9 are villages like Asagaon, Reshmagos,
Wherever investment is interested.
Tamurli. So mainly in North Goa, in Barves Taluka, there is one in Konda Taluka, Usgaon. So these have already been approved by the TCP board. And of course, this is just the start. And they say in the board meeting, this is planning on international level. So,
And you know what? The TCP is so slipshod. They didn't put up the minutes of the meeting till recently. All their board meetings, it stopped in August 2022 or something, the last meeting. So the fact is, not only are they not giving you RTIs under instructions of the minister, but they're not even releasing proper information online, which they should do. So we need to hold them accountable. They are working for us. They're working for us, people of Goa.
so right now, I think one thing at this meeting we should make really important is right now it's one thing of keeping the plan in abeyance, which is just fooling the people. A plan in abeyance has no legal meaning. In the TCP Act, there is no provision for abeyance. There is a provision for withdrawal of plan. And the process of withdrawal is by denotification. So if Mr. Rane really wants to listen to the people of Goa and act in their interest, he should withdraw the draft 10-year regional plan by denotifying it in the official gazettes.
Very clearly.
Very clearly. There's no use playing games with the people of Goa. Please withdraw the plan.
He's number
Denotify it.
But he's number 2 minister, no? So
But the government, that is the chief minister, should step in and not allow this kind of planning.
we are asking, where is the chief minister? I mean, the chief minister, you are responsible for all the people in your party. You're responsible for your government. How can you allow statements like this? That planning they have to confer with the center. I mean, what is this? So please step in and do something about it.
What is the right way we should see to do such kind of planning, if at all if it is needed for the near future?
So we have the regional plan process in place. Now already this was 2021 regional plan. The planning has to be, a plan has to be definite. It's not, the planning is not just for the real estate people, it's for all of Goa. There are people who want to do businesses. It's meant for your educational institutions, your sports, health, infrastructure. So the planning has to be done in the regional plan. Okay, and now already the 2021 has plan term is over, so we start the next process.
Yeah.
So are you
So
suggesting?
you're asking, I would say, the TCP minister is saying, let's make a new TCP Act. Fair enough, the TCP Act needs to be revisited. But it needs to be revisited in the light of the 73rd and the 74th Amendment. Make a TCP Act which talks about bottom-top planning, down-top planning. So if you really want to do good planning and planning for the people of Goa, let the minister amend the TCP Act, revisit it, but in the light of these constitutional amendments, not at the whims and fancies of real estate investors and directions from the center.
There's also more things that come into it. You see, we've moved a long way since the last 10, 12 years, right? Global warming is a real issue, climate change. You have to take into account flooding. It is known that all the areas in Giri, etc. are going to be underwater. Already you can see it happening. So why aren't you putting these danger zones in the plan? So these need to be put in. Every village has a biodiversity committee. You need to necessarily take all the important areas that need to be saved. You need to take that on board. You need to see what are the watershed areas. We have a water problem. So these are these are scientific things that can be handled. You just have to get these people on board. You can't just arbitrarily do what you want.
So GPA is suggesting for a public hearing in this.
Not hearing, a preparation using the 73rd, 74th Amendment and going according to a proper plan. It's a long process. You can't do it in like 2 months and that's it.
You know, when we first started the agitation in 2000, one of our demands was that the plan should be of the people and by the people. Okay? And at that time we had said that, see, whatever legal provisions that need to be done, 73rd Amendment, 74th Amendment, where local people should be part of the plan. Secondly, all the information, see, you require data. Okay, so all the data should be made available
By the government.
Okay, by the government, whether it is CRZ, whether it is now climate change. Now there are so many laws that have come for sustainable development. All that should be made available. Third, we need the skills. Okay, we need skills. We need people from the, whether it is town planning, the government should provide the skills at the local level. So whether they are architects, engineers, to be able to make the plan, guide the people how to make the plan.
But that's where it stops. They're the technical experts. The people should be planning and then the technical experts basically give them the criteria. But it shouldn't be that the TCP is busy doing their own number and the people are nowhere to be seen.
Another thing what's happening now, if you see the first regional plan, the 2001, it was prepared in-house by the TCP department. We had qualified professional planners in the Town and Country Planning Department, and the regional plan 2001 was done in-house by the department, by the planners. Subsequently, we see the trend is to have consultants, outside consultants doing a plan for Goa.
Yeah.
Outside consultants.
Also outside ministers.
Yeah, as I said, outside consultants. And now the trend is not only outside, it should be international.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a TCP department with qualified planners who are well aware of the ground realities and the scenario in Goa. If they can't plan for Goa, let's close the TCP department.
Yes.
If the planners who are here in Goa, who know Goa, are not qualified or are not trusted by the ministers to plan for Goa, and they would rather have international consultants,
Yes.
outside consultants, then what is the use of this department? I think, we in Goa should seriously start questioning this.
Yeah.
Are we going to allow this to happen?
What is the logic behind having ODPs in few talukahs and zoning plan for others? What is the reason behind that?
See, what happens is the regional plan is an overall framework. Within the regional plan for the region, you need to make local area plans for every area as per the Act, local bodies. So a local body is either a municipality or a village panchayat or one corporation which is country. Now these local area plans could be called ODPs.
So ODP
or
has a
zoning
PPA on top of it, as opposed to a normal zoning thing.
That is now jurisdiction. That's the
Yeah.
administrative jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I'm talking from planning point of view.
Zoning.
You have a regional plan for the region, and then you have local area plans. Here we call them ODPs. Somewhere you call them local area plans. They could be called zoning plans. But it's for every local body within this framework, within this overall umbrella of the regional plan. But what we are doing here, and this is what the Act also says, but what we are doing here, we are mixing up regional plans, zoning plans, ODPs.
We had a question of ODP. What are ODPs?
Yes,
That's
I'm saying
Why
ODPs
ODP
currently have
in
PDAs.
the constituency
I think
which are
ODP
already
will-
developed,
Yeah.
the constituency which are already developed having ODP and which are underdeveloped having zoning plan?
Yeah.
Why is the difference? Why
That's
is
what I'm
it
saying.
different?
This is what I'm saying. This is a whole confusion being
Yeah.
created. In planning, there will be a regional plan and there will be local area plans. The local area plans could be called either ODPs or zoning plans or local. It's a nomenclature. So all we are saying, every local body needs to have a local area plan.
And you drill down further and further
And so
into more
each,
details.
what we should be doing in every local body in Goa, we should be having a local area plan. Whatever name you call it. But we are doing it in a very haphazard manner. Suddenly we decide to do a zoning plan for a taluka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly we're doing, this is all haphazard and it is not within this umbrella framework of the regional plan 21, which is in force right now.
It's
So
not
there
promote.
is no process being followed, no proper guidelines being followed. It becomes like a free for all.
Essentially, they're throwing around words. They're throwing around words and confusing the public.
It has to be comprehensive study as to be
Comprehensive.
before
I mean,
preparing
And
any.
it's a
it's
sequence.
actually just logical. You have an overall idea which stitches policy, then you move on to the next, and you have to. But finally, you also have to get each and every ground detail. If you don't have the data from the ground, how can you plan?
That is missing.
That is missing.
Comprehensive study is missing.
It is missing.
And government has these plans for huge infrastructure. Suddenly they will plan something and then it is just thrust on the people. So what is Goa carrying capacity is very less. We have a very small area compared to the big state. And so suddenly they decide to make Goa a corridor. So you'll have seen these huge highways coming through. So half the land is gone. So we have to have a complete plan of what we want in Goa. Now, how much land can we give for what?
Just involve the people. I mean, people know what they need in their neighborhoods. Get the data. Do that.
Now your demand is that the DCP minister should be notified that.
Definitely.
They are saying don't hold it abeyance.
Okay. Just give
There is no word abeyance. Withdraw the plan. There is a provision for withdrawal in the DCP Act.
Yeah.
Withdraw the plan, and how do you withdraw it? By de-notifying it. And whenever you get directions from the center, you can re-notify it. But don't fool the people by saying we're keeping it abeyance. No, I'm just saying, don't fool the people. Don't use the word abeyance. Please withdraw it and de-notify it. Then we know that yes, you're concerned about
You're
voice of
serious.
the people.
Then you're serious.
Then you're serious.
What we have noticed that whatever changes that are coming or whatever terminology is coming, it is meant for vested interest, not for the locals. Now, for the casinos, Pernem zoning plan clearly saying it will accommodate. One of the things would be casinos. Now, do we require casinos to go to our hinterland? And see the damage that it has done to Panchim. We have not done a cost-benefit analysis. No study has been done, and then you thrust a development on the state, which is not right. So the planning also, whatever economic activity you are planning, because land use is based on your the policy and what economic activity you want to plan. Now that has never been discussed with the people.
And Goa being a small state, do we need such a huge development?
Exactly. Okay, and now see the congestion. Right now, what Panchim is facing, okay, roads are congested. You can't go on the Porvorim highway. And afternoon time, say, especially when students are going home, we have so much a problem. Now, what people are doing, they're moving from the highway, they're going in the internal roads. So now the internal areas are also getting congested. So we have to see all the factors. And today, let's say, if we can't reach medical aid because of this congestion, see the number of accidents that are taking place, and see the crime that is taking place in the city. You have to look at everything when you're doing planning.
To answer your question, we're talking about how much do you develop Goa and what kind of development. So what are they planning? They're planning these huge projects like Delton Town, which is a 4 lakh square meter resort city with hotels and casinos and water parks. Then they're talking about film cities. They're talking about F1. They're talking about
Anything.
golf
Horse
courses,
racing, golf, everything.
All the kind of projects they're proposing, are all of them going to come to Goa? Can Goa really sustain all of it? Yes, Goa has certain character. We want to develop tourism and plan for that. Let us decide what kind of tourism. Is Goa going to be one venue for everything? From casinos to golf courses to film cities to motor racing to horse racing.
Actually, this is what the minister means when he talks about international lines. So make Goa not Goa, but make Goa anything else but Goa. That is what's going to happen.
The issue
I
is,
think we should define what's international lines.
no, the issue is we are being drawn into their definition of development. Development is not about concrete and infrastructure and highways. It's about making sure your life is easy and good. If you look at a developed country, a lot of people look at, say, Europe. Yeah, they have the highways, but a lot of their villages are going back to some very simple concepts. Can you walk to school? Can your children walk to school? Is there a hospital close by? I mean, you have these definitions of what is development or what is a developed country. It is not about cement and concrete. The unfortunate thing is we are being drawn into that argument. Development is that. There's nothing else that means development.
And right now, what
Doesn't
they
make
see
sense.
basic planning and basically investment driven,
Yeah, investment.
revenue generating. But are they talking about basic infrastructure for the people, social infrastructure, physical infrastructure? No, it is basically talking about revenue for the state. At what cost? I think this is a question the people of Goa need to ask all the elected representatives. At what cost?
I have one more thing to say. The safest places are where the community is strong. And if you're only working on investment driven, etc., you tend to drive communities apart. You split them up because you're focusing on.
One more thing, if this happens, we're going to lose the environment. What do you like to say?
Pardon?
If this happens, we're going to lose environment.
Yes.
What do you like to say on this?
We are already losing so much. Now, you look at our beaches, for example. How much concretization has taken place? You look at Miramar Beach, okay, and the amount of concrete they have put on the beach. What kind of development is this? And one side, that whole area is an educational area. You have colleges, schools, and this side we have tourism. And then we are competing. So there is traffic. Now when the Iron Man happened over there, the school was shut down because they couldn't accommodate the people. Now national games are going to take place. Again the schools are closed down. So there is a there is competition now between development and our life, because we need to have our education, we need to have our health services, we need to have, this is what all people need. So there has to be a balance, and that is, we are not having a balanced development in the state.
आव्हान एक ताका ऍड करता. आता प्रेझेंटली आमचो TCP मिनिस्टर फॉरेस्ट मिनिस्टर आहा. हे दोन्ही कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग पोर्टफोलियो.
Conflict of interest.
कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बट टोटली कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग. आता जेन्ना तो डेव्हलपमेंटाचे उलयता, जेन्ना विश्वजीत राणे डेव्हलपमेंटाचे उलयता, तेन्ना ताका फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंटाचो आपण मिनिस्टर आहा असो याद दिसना. टू एन एक्सटेंट तो जेन्ना टायगर रिझर्वाची हायकोर्टांतल्यान ऑर्डर जाली, खंयच्यान स्टेटमेंट येवच्या पयलींच 15 मिनटां भितर तेणी स्टेटमेंट काडलो की आपूण ती चॅलेंज करतलो. हेजो अर्थ आयच्या दिसार गोंयचे जे फॉरेस्ट आहा ते आमकां फॉरेस्ट मिनिस्टरा कडल्यानूच राखचे पडटा. वी हॅव टू प्रोटेक्ट आवर फॉरेस्ट फ्रॉम आवर फॉरेस्ट मिनिस्टर नाव, बिकॉज ही इज मोर फोकस ऑन TCP डिपार्टमेंट पोर्टफोलियो वॉट इज हँडलिंग. सो ह्या सर्कमस्टन्सिसान आयदर तेणी फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट सोडपाचो, रिजायन जावपाचें, नाल्यार TCP रिजायन जावपाचें. दोनूय घेवन बसों शकना तो. आणि जेन्ना तेणी टायगर रिझर्व चॅलेंज केला पळय सुप्रीम कोर्टान, एंड ही इज द प्रिन्सिपल आर्किटेक्ट ऑफ दॅट चॅलेंज, सगळ्यांक खबर आहा. ताका कांयच रायट ना फॉरेस्ट मिनिस्टर म्हणून थंय बसपाक. अमांगस्ट दीस आमचो आनी एक डिमांड आहा, विश्वजीत राण्यान आयदर TCP पोर्टफोलियो सोडपाचो नाल्यार फॉरेस्ट पोर्टफोलियो सोडपाचो. दोनूय घेवन बसों शकना तो. आनी म्हाज्या हिशोबान तेणी फॉरेस्ट पोर्टफोलियो सोडपाचो आनी TCP पोर्टफोलियोच्यान ताका गव्हर्मेंटान सॅक करपाचो.
ते कंटिन्यू करूंक शकता. तेणें सांगलें त्या हिशोबान TCP सॉरी फॉरेस्ट, हांव सांगता TCPच्यानूय ताका भायर उडोवंक जाय. तो म्हणपा लागलो त्या दिसाच्या प्रेस कॉन्फरन्सात कितें म्हणपा लागलो, हांव पयल्या सारको TCP मिनिस्टर ना. म्हणजे कितें, आनी आपल्याक म्हणपा लागलो आपल्याक खंय 70 खूब जमण्यो आसा, त्यो जमण्यो तुज्यो, वयल्यान पेडण्याची जमण्यो तुज्यो न्हू, त्या लोकांक विचारून करूंक जाय. थंय ताका ती राजेशाहीची संवय जाल्ली आसा. आपल्याक सांगलें तुमी आयका, तेणें चिंतलेलें पेडण्याय तेच जातले, जे जावंक ना. एक्चुअली ताका दोन्ही पोर्टफोलियोच्यान काडून उडोवंक जाय गव्हर्मेंटान. ही इज अ डेंजर फॉर गोवा. तो डिस्ट्रक्टिव्ह डेव्हलपमेंट हाडूंक सोदता गोंयांत. हे आमचो डिमांड आसा. तो डिमांड तेणें घेवपाचो गव्हर्मेंटान, कित्याक पयलीं हो प्लॅनिंग पेडण्यां प्लॅनिंग झोन डिनोटिफाय करपाचो कायद्याच्या हिशोबांनी आनी हेका दोनूय मिनिस्ट्रीच्यान काडपाचो.
You want to say anything? Patricia, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I do feel that he has spoiled the culture in the town and country planning department. If you go there today, no one wants to give you information, no one wants to talk. Everybody is dependent only on the minister. So all those who are working there have become mere clerks. And it's very unfortunate that we are paying the salary of these town planning people who are not doing their job because they can't do their job. They are just like puppets under the minister. And unfortunately, this town and country planning minister is a puppet under the centre. He has to ask the centre even whether he has to withdraw the plan or keep the plan or do something. This is a real shame for Goa. And I think the town and country planning minister should go.